I don't think there's a lot of people my age or men my age, and that's not excluding women, that did not have some sort of connection to Hulk Hogan. We grew up watching the WWF. We were there when he body slammed Andre the Giant. We were there when he lost to the Ultimate Warrior. We were there when the NWO started. Like, I was a WWF fan. I was a wrestling fan, even WWE. And then at some point, Hogan just became a piece of nostalgia that you enjoyed seeing once in a while until you started to really know the man. And a lot of times it's really hard to separate art from the artist. What the athlete can do on the court, on the field, to what he does off the field. And those lines blur a lot. And you can get away with that for a while. You can listen to somebody's music for a while and go, I don't really like them, but I like their music. Until eventually they do something where you say, I don't want to support them anymore. Hogan destroyed his career. He was a racist, whether he wants to make excuses or not. There were too many things that he said and did, despite the people he hung out with, that made him that way. He was not a good person, okay? He was not. He was a character. The man behind Hulk Hogan sacrificed himself so that he could have this image live forever. His family suffered. His friends suffered. He held a lot of wrestlers down. I could go on and on. So when they dropped on Netflix, Hulk Hogan, Real American, April 22nd, I had to watch it, but I knew what I was getting into, especially now that the WWE is on Netflix and they have that relationship. This was interesting enough because it showed the last interview, his last thoughts, and where he was and his health problems and the decline. It was also the rise of Hulk Hogan, and some of the people that were involved got to be interviewed. And I enjoyed seeing the aspect of it of wrestling. We saw how he met his wife. His daughter, Brooke, was not on the series. His son was. His daughter, Brooke, has been estranged from Hogan for a couple years now. She recently came out to say why she was not on there and that she didn't want to really be a part of it. I will say this is a fluff piece done in WWE's way, where yes, they're going to show you a couple of those moments that make Hogan unlikable and his fall from grace. But they're going to glaze over it and talk about all the things he did for the industry and how the company wouldn't be there today without him, and how even though some people don't like him, they have to thank him. In one aspect, you're almost going to feel bad for Hulk Hogan as he acknowledges the horrible things he's done, but they glaze over them. And he puts a spin on it anyway. Political affiliations aside, they bypass some of the most darkest moments of his life while trying to paint him as an imperfect person, but looking at he's the last of a dying breed. It's a really well done documentary where they sprinkle a little of that controversy, I call it reality, and then they glaze over everything else to show you, well, look, he's vulnerable. He makes mistakes. He knows that. If you're a fan of wrestling, I would say watch it. If you grew up watching him, if you were there at the Pontiac Silverdome for WrestleMania 3, if you remember that moment, watch it. But don't think you're going to get into some significant moments of his career that impacted him. Sure, the steroids are discussed. It's public record. His divorce is discussed. It's public record. Glazed over the fact that he was sleeping with one of his daughter's friends. Glazed over the racist comments over and over again. Not even talked about. Barely touched on the political side. Barely. Doesn't mention the hundreds and hundreds of wrestlers he held down so that he could remain in the spotlight. It's a really interesting campaign that they did on Netflix. I'm glad I watched it, but it's not what you think it is. And we shouldn't be surprised. We've seen this before. We saw it with the Vince McMahon documentary. They did the exact same thing. It's the exact same formula. Check it out.